Oh hi! I'm David and I'm bringing you 7 common writing mistakes and how to fix them. First up is not understanding point of view types. You could be drifting between POV types, such as third person limited to third person omniscient. The difference is, the narrator in a third-person omniscient story knows the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of all the characters in the story, whereas third-person limited point of view adheres more closely to one character's point of view, usually the main character's. Another perspective issue is you could be head-hopping. Head-hopping is where the author jumps from one character's point of view to another's during a scene without telegraphing or making the transition smoothly. If you choose to switch character points of view during a scene, you must make a clear distinction to the change, so that way readers won't be confused. For simplicity's sake, I prefer switching character points of view in different scenes. While we're on the topic of point of view, I wanted to tread the pitfalls of some familiar ground. The first-person point of view, I, can initially be hard to write because of accidentally switching verb tenses. When you're writing in the first-person point of view, you need to pick a verb tense and stick to it. Is it the past, present, or future? Are you doing, are you going to, or did you do it already? I like to write in the present active tense because I think it's more exciting when things are going on right then. If you need any further clarification, you can find a list of verb tenses on my website. The second-person point of view, you, your, and yours. This point of view is often used to refer to the reader or the audience in technical writing, speeches, songs, and advertisements. In fiction, I often see this point of view used in the choose-your-own-adventure type of books. The next common mistake is failing to outline. If you're a pantser and that works for you, hey man, you do you. But if you're running into some of these issues, you might need to rethink your game plan. One common issue that can be brought on by failing to outline is info dumps. These are as nasty as they sound. This is often brought on by a lack of foresight, or sudden inspirato as to a character's motivation or backstory, where sometimes the writer will write out their entire life story on the page. This is fine, but those huge sections of exposition need to get broken up, and the good parts sprinkled throughout your manuscript. A lack of conflict can also be brought on by not outlining. This is an issue I initially ran into because I only outlined the section of the story I was currently working on. That's why it's always a good idea to know where the plot's going, so the conflict can come in at just the right moments. It can't always be smooth sailing in the land of our protagonists. But not all conflicts need to be brought on by other characters. They could be any external force such as society as a whole, or nature. Or the forces could even be internal, such as mental conflicts or struggles. Characters not having goals. This is a problem often run into when writing contemporary realistic fiction, but it can pop up in any genre. The characters always need to be working towards something, whether it's getting better grades or just improving at a hobby. It can be hard for the reader to side with or be rooting for the main character if they don't have goals or aren't trying to achieve anything. Awkward or misused dialogue. Dialogue is a great opportunity to get exposition into the reader in a non-invasive way, but we should never be forcing these bits in. So, characters should never be talking about exposition that they were both there for, or things that they should both logically already know. Another way we can often abuse dialogue is characters saying each other's names too frequently just to get the names across to the readers. The next common mistake is the tried and true. Show, don't tell. This age-old adage comes down to balance, showing the readers enough to get them interested and then telling them what you can. As writers, we have to show them enough to get them interested, but we don't have to show them everything. After all, mystery is attractive. Putting it simply, this means that the reader must experience the story through the character's thoughts, feelings, senses, and emotions rather than the writer's descriptions. Readers should live these scenes with your characters, while you, as the writer, prop up some of the background or build up to that scene with what you've told us. Up next is the use of sentence length. It's important to know how to use the length of our sentences to best serve the story. For example, if you're writing action scenes, you should use shorter sentences so that it reads quicker. You should also be aware of the types of sentences you're using. Are they simple, compound, complex? The next common mistake is not reading enough to know the conventions of your genre. After all, you have to know the rules to break them. While it's important to read a wide variety of material, it's also important to read a lot in the genre that you write. When you write books in a certain niche or genre, readers will expect certain tropes of that niche or genre. For example, if I picked up a romance, I would expect probably love, drama, comedy, and an abundance of gooey feelings. Whereas if I picked up a thriller, I'd expect some fast-paced action and a complex or convoluted plotline. Or if I went into horror, I'd be expecting, blood, gore, guts, and all those other nasty things that go bump in the night. Not being patient. Writing a book's fucking hard. You can't expect results overnight. The best way to achieve your goals and get those novels written is to build small daily habits that help you work towards those goals. If you find problems with your writing, don't get discouraged and don't be afraid to take the time to fix them, however long that may be. Think of how much you grow and learn in a month. So, even if it takes years for you to finish your novel, it'll reflect every day that you put in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, you can find an extended transcript of it on my website, linked down below. Are there any writing topics you'd like me to cover? If there are, be sure to let me know down in the comments and I'll tackle them in a future episode. I hope now we can all avoid these writing pitfalls. So, until next time, write on.